Pastors, get a hold of your emotions. Welcome back to Lead from Second. We've been taking some time to talk through how leaders, pastors, can lead themselves well. We're in the third part of a 5-part series. I'm going to post a link below to part 1 and part 2 where we talked about leading yourself well mentally and leading yourself well personally, how to grow in those areas to lead yourself well. And today what we're talking about in part 3 is leaders, you need to lead yourself well emotionally. Now, whenever we talk about emotions, I'm thinking specifically of whenever Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your heart. The very first thing that Jesus said to love God with all of yourself with was the heart. And the heart is the seat of emotions. It is where all of the emotional stuff of you comes from. All the good stuff, all the good emotions too, your joys, your happiness, your fulfillment, all those kind of emotions, even positive emotions, come from your heart. They spring up from your heart. But that also means that all the negative junk in your life and in your world also springs up from your heart. Anger, bitterness, jealousy, wrath, strife, all of this negative, nasty stuff that weighs you down, that is all part of your negative emotions, all spring up from your heart, the seat of emotions inside of you. Listen, guys, I've been in ministry for almost 15 years now, full-time ministry, and listen, I get it. Ministry is hard, it's painful, it's difficult, and not only is ministry difficult and hard, but on top of all that, you've also got a lot of baggage that you're coming into ministry with. You come into ministry, you're supposed to have all these answers for all of life's problems and life's biggest questions, and at some level you do. You have kind of a basic biblical worldview answer to those questions, but you've also got all of your own junk, all of your own stuff, and people look at you and think, hey, you should be perfect. Your life's got to be all together. You should have all the answers. Like you have all this figured out, right? And you're like, no, I've got all kinds of junk myself. Guys, I get it. Been there, done that. Your dad was gone too much, or he was an alcoholic. Your mom yelled too much. Something bad happened to you when you were a child. And this doesn't minimize any of that. That is real stuff. It's who you are. It's the nitty gritty. It's the dirty part, the messy part of you, and it comes out in your emotions. You're working hard. You're doing it for God. You're doing it for Jesus. You're trying to build His kingdom. You're doing all of this work, but the church isn't growing the way you thought it would. Ministry is difficult. It's not like you thought it would be in college or in seminary. It's not that easy. The numbers just aren't there, and that's not how it's supposed to be. And so from all of this baggage and all of this effort that you're putting into it comes this anger, this frustration, this bitterness about, yeah, but look at what I'm doing. It should be better than that. I've had extremely difficult ministry experiences where I've thought the exact same thing. It's not supposed to be this way. Pastors, you have to deal well with your emotions. You have to lead yourself well emotionally. And there's a couple of things I think you need to do, and you need to stop being afraid of doing it. One, you need to go see a counselor. I know, you're the counselor. You're the one who has answers to all of life's questions. You're the ones with the answer to all of the problems. You're the counselor. I get it. You need counseling. You need to go and talk to somebody. You need to spend some money. You need to see a professional. One of the most difficult steps I ever took in my life was the day I started to spend money to talk to somebody else about my problems and my background and my baggage and the junk I carry with me. My dad died when I was 18 years old. He was in ministry. He was only 41 years old. I've got junk. I have stuff that I deal with. That was a difficult move for me, but pastors, you need counseling. Your marriage needs it. You need it. Your church needs it. Your family needs it. Go see a counselor. And then into the biblical side of things, from the biblical perspective, you need to get some accountability. If you're at a church that's small, maybe you're a part of a ministry that's small, and you don't offer something like Celebrate Recovery, you need to find a church that does. Go and be a part of a step study. Find a group of pastors, leaders in your area who can either go through the step study with you or who can get into a heavy accountability group with somebody so you can share with them the junk of your life, the stuff that's going on in the deepest parts of you, the things that make you the most angry, the most bitter, the most loathsome, that dirty, gross, ugly hidden side of us that we don't want to talk about. You need to get some accountability. Who are the 2 or 3 people that you trust the most, that you can tell everything to, that you can share everything with, and they're going to help you work through it, and they're going to pray for you, and they're going to support you, and they're going to point you in the right direction? Who are those people that you can sit down with and have some serious, real, genuine, biblical accountability with? Listen, pastors, like I said, I've been doing this for almost 15 years. I love ministry. I love God. I love the church. I love Jesus. I love his people. I love ministers. I love pastors. I love what they do. But guys, if you're going to lead well, you've got to get some counseling. So as lovingly as I can say it, guys, go get some counseling. Begin to lead yourself well emotionally. And whenever you begin to free yourself from the bondage and the chains of your past and the junk that you've dealt with and the hurt and the pain and the bitterness and the anger, when you can flip that into grace and love and forgiveness, guys, you're going to see a whole new side to ministry, to your marriage, to your life, to what God can do in your world. So take care of yourselves. Lead yourselves well emotionally. Get some counseling. Get some accountability. And then get back in there, because you are making a difference in this world and in the lives of people. And you are called to a big, huge calling. So take care of yourselves, lead yourselves well emotionally. Love you guys. Keep up the great work.